It's about time, everyone, on Deep Dive Zone, a Sonic review series for fans of all shapes and sizes. I'm your host, Devin, joined as always by my co-hosts, Lauren and Bruce, and today we're moving forward with Fleetway Sonic the Comic. And can you guys guess what it's about time for?
This comic to
I
almost
don't
be
know.
over.
That's true.
Specifically, it's time for us to be friggin' done with these Tales stories. We're covering the last one
Oh
of today.
yeah, that's
Oh
true.
yeah.
And well, they're kind of bad, so I'm glad to be done with them.
Yeah.
We are making our debut for the finale. That's not a real term. We're making our beginning of the end here with Skeleton Crew, Stringer and Flint. Once every 50 years, a group of ghosts called the Skeleton Crew rises from the Grim Dead Zone. 2 out of 10 zone name. I got it mixed up with the Grim Zone, which is a different place. And Tails must deal with this now.
Yeah, it's very weird. Are those zones
Yeah.
related somehow?
Who knows?
I mean, there's plenty of Sonic zones in normal games that sound exactly like each other, so...
Yeah, that's fair.
I guess.
So apparently this is once every 50 years. Where's Gerald and Maria? Where's the Black Comet? What's going on?
Oh my gosh.
No. That'd be more interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, there's ghosts. It's not like you couldn't include them.
Ooh,
Other than the fact that Sonic Adventure 2 didn't exist yet. But anyway,
fair.
yeah, ghosts, and this old frog tells tales about the ghosts.
Yep, they're the zone leader. All the zone leaders are kind of weird old dudes. For the
Yeah.
most part. Well, old
Well,
people.
That's kind of true in real life.
I think that was the idea.
I guess, yeah.
Or just force of habit, I don't know. But, yeah, ghosts, they come out of TVs and jack-o'-lanterns and toilets.
The ghosts at this point don't even seem like they're like bad or anything. They just kind of seem like they want to have fun.
It's kind of the impression they have for most of it, actually.
Yeah, for most of the story, they're kind of like that.
It's weird because yeah, they spook people and yeah, they do just say like Happy Halloween. One of them
Or well,
says.
hi there.
So it's like you're just being kind, you know? It's not doing anything
Yeah,
wrong.
being a bit of an asshole by spooking these people, but like other than that, I mean,
Well,
no.
they do in I don't know if this is intentional or like coincidental, but they chase everybody into the center of the town for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know.
Also, I'm just realizing, imagine living in a place called Grim Dead Zone.
Yeah, at that point, you're kind of asking for it.
But yeah, they're conveniently all in the same place. So that means that Tails can come here and fight them. But he just goes through them. So
Because they're ghosts.
yeah, so it's like even if they were malicious, they can't do anything to you either. Like
Yeah,
there's no point
like-
in this comic where a ghost touches somebody and it matters.
yeah. So it's like at that point, just the people should just be ignoring them until they fuck off.
Yeah, I mean, Tails is like, oh, they could cause an accident or something. I guess that's the idea. But
Yes?
yeah, it's probably not a huge deal.
Not
Yeah,
really.
I guess you don't want people distracted if this is a place where they operate heavy machinery or something.
Yeah. Someone might have a heart attack, I guess.
But frankly, even the ghosts aren't all that bothered because they also conveniently reveal to Tails, oh, they go away at midnight. So
Yeah.
and Tails does realize exactly the thing that I'm saying. He yells to the townspeople, "Hey, they can't touch you, and you can't touch them, so just ignore them."
Right. It's like, that's the easiest solution here, guys.
And they chase after him in the plane, and they try to. I guess they do try to do the exact same thing we were saying, which is that they try to distract him and make him crash the plane.
Yeah, and then Tails just takes them to a different part of Mobius that's midnight.
He just flies until he reaches the moon, or reaches under the moon. I guess that works.
I mean, he just says he goes to a different time zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, because apparently the paranormal ghost magic works
in
that
whatever
way.
time zone they're in.
Yeah, it's not like ghost dependent or area dependent. It's clock dependent.
Damn.
So strange.
Also, let's not forget, if it's Halloween, you guys remember what comes after Halloween.
Oh
Anyway,
no.
I've made this
No.
joke before.
We're not there yet.
Not quite.
We can't be there yet. Also,
We
this
will
is a
be,
really
don't
weird
worry.
solution. Couldn't you just wait?
It is, yeah. I mean, yeah, just have everyone just like hang out in the fucking, I don't know, town center.
Also, this only happens once every 50 years on Halloween. This is like xenophobic. You should consider this like a big event. It's Halloween and we got real ghosts. That's good.
Yeah, if anything,
I
that would
guess,
be like
yeah.
a good thing for some people.
Yeah, well, yeah, shouldn't the whole town like get ready and like set the place up as like a haunted or as like a ghost town? Make some money off of it.
Yeah. Anyway, dumb story. Moving on. Next one
Yeah.
is Rise and Fall, Stringer and McMahon. During Green Hill's celebration of Robotnik's defeat, someone sabotages the fireworks.
This Sonic statue looks really ridiculous for some reason.
It's
It's that it's-
because they made no attempt to make it look like a statue.
Yeah, it's just a full color, regular ass drawing of Sonic.
It's that it's painted. It just looks like
Yeah.
Sonic. But yeah, we're in actual Green Hill zone. Couldn't tell by
Holy
looking.
crap.
Just looks like some rural neighborhood.
Yeah.
And they built the Statue of Freedom, but it's just Sonic. And the fireworks that they're launching. Also, we're celebrating Robotnik's defeat. Robotnik's not like super gone. I guess
Yeah.
they
but-
have celebrations like this every year now, don't they? Because we did
Yeah,
this before too.
Yeah, I think they're more so celebrating that he's not in control of the planet.
Yeah, he's still not in control.
Right.
I mean, depending on where this is in the timeline, I think this might actually be before he comes back from Shanazar. So I think he's still
Oh,
been
most
gone for a
certainly.
while.
Yeah, these Tales stories, their continuity or their placement in the continuity is always a little strange.
Yeah, I mean this is my ordering as well, screwing us a little bit. I still think it's better than mixing them in with all the Sonic stories because it'd take a freaking year to get through Shanazar otherwise. But
God.
Yeah,
anyway.
it makes sense, but
No, yeah, it makes sense. I'm not complaining.
So there's rockets flying around, and it goes at the Sonic statue and just explodes it. And this Weasel guy is like, "That was my plan to destroy the symbol of hope."
I've said this before, but the Freedom Fighters really need to go like door to door and find everyone with supervillain aspirations.
it's kind of absurd.
They need to
Mobius
go door
has
to
too
door.
fucking many of them.
They need to go door to door and tell people that the statue doesn't matter because everybody
also
is instantly
true.
like, "Oh no, Robotnik is coming back because we lost our statue."
That's also a good point.
Yeah, the people of Mobius are idiots because they literally know why this statue was destroyed. Someone took credit for it, and yet they think for some reason that means Robotnik will return. It makes no sense.
Well, I guess they're taking it as a sign, like, oh god, our representation of our freedom has been destroyed.
Friggin' Groundhog Day.
I'm thinking like it's like if the Statue of Liberty were blown up and we immediately assumed the British were coming back.
Okay, you know Americans would do that.
A certain subset of Americans, yes, would.
But in reality, what we would do is establish UNATCO, and it would turn into Deus Ex. That's what happens in Deus Ex. That's
I
why the
know.
Statue of Liberty is blown
Yeah.
up in that game. Anyway.
Yeah, no, I knew about that.
But Tails yells at them because that is indeed stupid.
Yeah,
And
because
then
tells
they're like-
me like, what the fuck are you people talking about?
And then
And
as
that's
we've
all it
established,
takes. Then
shoot
they're
they
just
are.
like,
They're
okay.
like
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah,
all the people of Mobius. It's not just that it's that they're the kind of person that instantly agrees with whatever the last thing said to them was.
yeah, kinda, yeah.
And so then everyone just starts burning Robotnik effigies again.
Yeah.
You know what? That's probably healthier.
Also, the other dude gets arrested.
Well, yeah, I mean, he made it obvious that it was his car.
Yeah,
How was he
yeah,
going to
he-
get away with that? It was
He
impossible.
he effectively turned it. Well, he admitted all of it. It's like it was going to happen.
Objectively, a less dangerous person than Max Gamble, though. Still not in jail.
I mean, yeah.
True.
All right, let's move on here to the Goblin Overlords. Oh God, it's a nameless.
Oh god,
zone
the
story.
nameless zone.
Kitching and
I
Dobbin.
can't believe it.
Tails is called to the Nameless Zone by Moraine, hoping to
I thought
free
we were
Errol and the
done.
Enchanter Kings from a goblin castle.
I thought we were done with the nameless zone.
No,
It is.
we gotta show that Tails is lifting. He's trying to get buff.
Oh, yeah, that is what he's doing. I
Yes,
barely
that
noticed
is what
that.
he's doing. Well,
It's funny.
no,
I don't
he's
like
not
the
really.
Nameless
He's,
Zone, but
yeah, neither
like,
do I.
maybe this will be slightly more interesting than what we've just got.
Well, we'll show
I
how
mean,
far Tails has come since.
That's
he was
more
last
so.
time.
Yeah, that's really the interesting part of it is seeing Tails actually being the hero that they thought he was.
I do think it's funny that Tails wants to be here just as much as we do because he says, "I hope they'd forgotten about me."
Yeah, they acknowledge it's been a long time, actually.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the portal opens, and he is dragged in by Moraine, who we met, like, once, and she didn't do that much.
I'm gonna be honest, I forgot she existed.
Yeah. But, she pulled him in because, check out that goblin castle.
Looks rad as hell.
Her brother and the
Right.
Enchanter Kings are being held there for reasons.
And my
Yeah, we'll
immediate
learn
question
about
is,
that.
my immediate question is, why should Tails give a damn?
I mean,
Because Tails.
He's a
and
nice guy. Yeah.
this
he's a
is
nice
his
guy.
hometown.
Yeah, but he doesn't really seem to want to be here.
Where the hell is his family? Does he have parents?
Tails was summoned from the void.
Who raised him?
Yes.
Anyway,
It's
yeah.
funny that Moraine is like, I wouldn't have asked you to come and help me, but like I literally couldn't think of anyone else.
Yeah, I was limited in
So
who I
rude.
could ask. It's like, that's fair, honestly.
Yeah, now we know the place is doomed.
Oof.
So yeah, it's time to sneak into the Goblin Castle. So we try to sneak in and get caught almost immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because Moraine is an idiot. Tails is like, why are you just barging in? And she's like, I don't know, just because it's how I roll.
I'm not good at stealth sections.
Yeah.
I mean, fair enough, I guess.
Fair
So
enough.
yeah, but it's also weird because Maureen attacks the guard and then lets him run off to report that they're there.
I don't. There's logic, probably. Actually, no. I guess there isn't. That's the whole point. It was a stupid move.
Yeah, I mean, Tails says that it's dumb, and he was
Yeah.
ribbing her for not having a plan going in. So maybe
That's
maybe
true,
Tails
yeah.
should have gone in alone.
Honestly, Tails might
Probably
have been
would've been
better
more
off.
effective.
Yeah. So they run into more guys and get chased, but they duck inside a door to find the Enchanter Kings sharing a drink with the Goblin Lord.
Yeah.
So
Yep. I wondered because Maureen was like, wait, they just built this castle here, you know? And I was like, how did they build a castle like so close and without starting a war? And it's because these guys are pushovers, apparently, because there's some forceful negotiations going on.
yes, indeed. This is Rubal, the current Goblin King. I guess Vulpecula drank herself to death.
Let's be honest, she was not going to be a long-lasting monarch.
She didn't exactly seem stable, admittedly.
Yeah.
No.
So this guy is doing some aggressive diplomacy. He wants to have a peaceful relationship with Nameless and the Enchanter Kings, so long as they pledge allegiance to the Goblin Empire.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really weird. They're just like, oh, we'll leave you alone, except once a year we will have a ceremony and you must do what we say, and they don't elaborate.
Yeah, because that doesn't really mean a whole lot. Like, well, what do you want us to do in that context?
I mean, I assume the fact that he's not telling means that it's something not good.
And we'll go.
Probably.
Yeah, you have to sacrifice your newest born.
But nobody's been born here for 30 years.
God.
Except Tails. That's where it could end up going, right? You can try to
He's
sacrifice
He's conveniently on Mobius every time they come.
Tails. Yeah. Anywho, yeah. So if they don't agree to this setup, we'll kill all of you.
No! What a loss.
I guess this is
Right.
kind of goblin colonialism.
Sure, yeah.
But Moraine is mortified about this. That's terrible. Mortified. That doesn't
Good
work.
job.
That really doesn't work.
But she's very upset that the Enchanter Kings agreed to this, and so she just runs in and attacks the goblins. Tails notably does not have a political opinion on any of this, but he's happy to help out in the fight anyway.
Yeah, well, I mean, Tails didn't really even want to be here, so.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really blame him.
Yeah, he didn't really have any option. But yeah, Maureen gets knocked down, and this goblin dude is ready to go in for the kill. But oh look, it's Errol. He's here. He saves her the next time. Yay?
Yep.
I don't know.
I don't know.
The enchanters are like, stop fighting. Call for an end to fighting. We want to negotiate so that this doesn't happen more. But
and then Tails leaves.
Yeah, they're like, we will negotiate provided you just let Tails, Errol, and Moraine go home. And the Goblin King's like, yeah, sure.
And then suddenly, Tails needs to go back to Mobius.
Yeah. And yeah, I guess that means Nameless really is going to just surrender to the goblins.
Yeah, we don't get any resolution, so that's all I can assume.
And indeed,
Wait, is this never followed up on?
That's it. Yep, that's the last name zone story.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured.
There is an editor's note at the bottom saying that they'll do more in 1999, but that did not happen. The comic ended in 2000.
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure the comic ended after that.
All right, well, I think just surrendering to the goblins is a fitting end for these bozos.
You know what? Yeah, kind of is.
I have not read Sonic the Comic online. I'm guessing they probably followed this up.
I would guess so.
But, yeah.
I also don't care.
Yeah, well, it's like, of all the stories to lose because the comic got canceled, I'm not that bothered.
Yeah, I'm not that broken up about losing this one.
Yeah. At least Dobbin was the best artist to work on any Nameless Zone story.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because,
I was going to say this looks nicer than a lot of them.
It looks nicer than a lot of Tales stories in general.
Actually, wait, was it Jose Casanovas who did the one with Volpecula? That one had good art.
Oh, right, that's true. That's true.
I always forget about that one because it doesn't have Trog.
Yeah, anyone with Trog is funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving along here. Captain
Look
Christmas.
what holiday it is.
It's Christmas again.
Of course.
We're back, bitches.
Stringer and Corona. Tails fights another phony superhero, which we've seen a lot of times now.
Yeah.
So we have a sheep guy to start with who is called Bahumbus, the Psycho Sheep.
That's
very clever.
Wait, is that an
guys.
S or a G?
Bahumbug.
Okay, sorry. Low resolution.
Whatever. The joke, either way, it's dumb.
Yeah. But he is rampaging because he hates Christmas, so he's swinging an entire Christmas tree around at people.
What better way to hate the holiday than by using it as a weapon?
Well, the funny thing is that somebody swoops in, also uses Christmas stuff as a weapon.
That's true.
Yes, indeed. It's not Tails, though. Tails tries to help, but he gets smacked by the tree. Instead, Captain Christmas shows up to stop him.
Was a really good voice crack, Devin.
I'm only partially doing it on purpose. I said I did it on purpose last time because I did do it on purpose once. But I mean, how am I supposed to react to this?
No, I know. I'm not saying.
Yeah.
I'm not. That was just a really good voice crack for that moment.
He's a buff dog man.
Yeah.
And yeah, he throws Christmas shit at Sheep Man.
Yep.
Everyone runs up to him and they give him presents, the ones they intended for friends and family.
Kind of weird. It's like, what, you're gonna go
It's a little strange.
to your family and be like, oh, you know, I got saved by a superhero, so like no presents. Sorry.
Yeah,
Well,
I got presents, but I gave them to the superhero that saved us.
Well, and so like you get that this is obviously some kind of scheme, but isn't that really stupid? Because most Christmas gifts are gonna be like, unless you're getting something for like kids, maybe, you know, and it's like video games or something. Most Christmas gifts are gonna be tailored to the individual.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want, you're just gonna get random crap from people on the street that you don't want. Even the villain just gives his car away.
Yeah.
I mean, that's useful.
I suppose, yeah. But how many people are getting a car for the Christmas? This isn't even his.
I'm
This isn't
sure.
even a gift.
I just want to point out, we also forgot to mention Tails has a cold.
Oh yeah, that's an important plot point. I'm glad you brought that up.
It is an important plot point.
Oh, that's why he got hit by the tree and couldn't handle Sheepman himself.
Well, yeah, he was
Okay.
distracted by that, but it's also a plot point for the resolution.
Yeah. Anywho, Tails gets a sample of Captain Christmas's fur and tests it on AI Kentober's analysis machine.
Now, how did he get that sample of fur?
I don't know. He never
My
even got
question-
close to him.
No, he
The question
didn't.
isn't how Tails got the fur, but how Kentober has like a DNA database of Mobian citizens, because they can, well, they're useful for once, first of all, and they can identify them as like an ex-Robotnik employee.
My guess is that
mass observation.
No, my guess would be that Robotnik built that database and they just still have the info.
Fair. Yeah, that's fair.
Oh yeah, Robotnik would definitely keep DNA.
Oh, yeah, of course he
from
would.
employees.
Especially on people that work for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yes, he's an ex-Robotnik employee from Chemical Plant, using hypnotic axe body spray to make people love him.
Yeah, and Tails has a cold, so he couldn't smell it.
Of course.
Yep, there's where it all pays off.
So yeah, the solution ends up being really obvious and really lame, which is that Tails flies up and hits him with a snowball injected with anti-axe body spray synthesized by Kentober.
Yep.
And then everyone who gave them presents proceeds to want to like beat them in the street.
Yes, indeed.
I mean, they were manipulated.
The citizens of Mobius are like the citizens of Springfield. They get whipped up into an angry mob extremely easily.
Yeah.
It's just funny that Tails has to like save them from their wrath.
Yeah, it's funny that like there have been many moments in this comic where we've talked about like, oh, they characterize the population a certain way, or that comic back when Robotnik was still in control where the heroes were saved by civilians, and how there's they're always talking about the symbol of hope and peace and having sort of a revolutionary spirit, and how, oh, no one person should be in charge of all this. But the comic has gotten way, way more cynical as of the last few episodes.
Definitely.
But with the spell broken and everybody, I guess, not evil anymore, everybody, they want their presents back, so Captain Christmas is forced to deliver all of the presents again. And here's Santa for a brief cameo.
Yep.
It's a Christmas story. It's a Sonic, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, there you go.
Yep,
Let's move along to No More Heroes. Oh, I love that game. Actually, I've never played No More Heroes. Is it any good?
It's pretty. I've played the first one for a bit. It's fun.
All right. Anyway, No More Heroes, Stringer and McMahon. Wood Zone. Yes, Wood Zone, the unused area from Sonic 2. Wood Zone is shown to have zero crime, meaning it finds no need for heroes like Tails and bans them. Something fishy is going on.
Of course.
At the start here, we learned that apparently Tails like patrols zones for trouble, which is interesting. Didn't expect that actually.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
It's whatever. It's an excuse to have it happen.
Yeah.
But yes, apparently this place has been crime-free for a while, and the mayor, zone leader, whatever you want to call it, he says there's no need for heroics. Enough that he bans Tails in favor of more cops.
So, I mean, banning vigilante justice isn't in and of itself a bad thing, but there should be an exception for like Tails and Sonic and the gang.
Right, the freedom fighters should be considered separate from that.
It's one of those like if superheroes were real things, where it's like this is obviously a lot of modern superhero media trying to be realistic by saying that nobody who had that kind of powers would be a good person. But if Superman was real and a good dude, I could never imagine trying to stop him.
No. If it was just a regular ass Superman, no one would have a problem with him.
Yeah, not talking about fucking Zack Snyder.
Well, I was thinking more
Homelander. Would have a
Homelander.
problem with them actually, but I think that's the point. It would only be the suspicious individuals because we're meant to question this.
Oh well, absolutely. I mean,
of course,
saying that, like, accepting that premise for even a second should be cause for alarm among even just randos on the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but Tails, as usual, is just like, well, okay.
Tails is so passive.
Yeah. But a lack of citizens' justice means that the incompetent and apathetic police can't stop kidnappers, especially when the kidnappers are that same guy who is Zone Master. Not just kidnapping people, but he is kidnapping people to build badniks. He has a badnik factory.
Interesting.
Kind of weird.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be the new Robotnik. Get a new gimmick.
Yeah, that's if you're gonna be a supervillain, get a new gimmick.
Yep.
Also, I totally lied. Tails was actually cool this one time because he was in disguise and he's here to bust this operation.
Oh, of course.
Yes, indeed. The big mech nabs this random child, but the random child turns out to reveal himself to be Tails. Ah! So the leader tells the badniks to attack Tails, and they punch him through a wall, but that means that the citizens can actually see what's going on, so they collectively fight back.
Yeah.
So, like I was saying, this is now they actually are doing kind of the thing that I was talking about before, back when.
True, yeah, they are.
All over the place.
Mm-hmm.
So, Dickhead is arrested, but we also see that apparently Grimer was behind all of this from prison.
Yeah, because apparently, like, no one can make badniks except Grimer and Robotnik, which, no, that's not true. we've seen multiple people use badniks that are not affiliated with them before.
That's true.
But also, this doesn't quite make sense. Like, all the other Grimer plans somehow help them in finding Robotnik, but this doesn't follow.
You just have a little side operation going. Maybe it needs the money? I don't know. Is there money in Badnik production? I don't know. Moving swiftly along. Let's go to the next one. This is Forbidden Island, Stringer and Pritchett. AI Kintober discovers the hidden base of Dr. Robotnik's Appreciation Tribe, and it's up to Tails and Charmy B to take them down. I don't know why I didn't call them the Cult of Robotnik in that description. I've never done that before.
Yeah, he threw me off. I was like, who are you talking about? Because I never used that name.
Yep. But yes, an alarm calls Tails, Johnny, and Shorty to the base. AI Kintober has found the hideout of the cult.
I didn't expect them to have, like, a central base. Doesn't quite seem right.
It seems more like a decentralized group, but
it kind of seemed like they were just operating out of wherever, basements and stuff.
Yeah, basically.
Because they were always, to some degree, on the run. I think they lived in a van for a while.
I like that.
But yes, apparently they have a secret island fortress. Is this Flicky's Island? I don't think so.
Who knows? It could.
They would have said if it was, but it would be cooler if it was. Oh well.
Yeah.
Well, it's not like anybody else is there right now.
Well, and it would make total thematic sense for them to be like, oh, Robotnik was defeated. We'll just go and reclaim his base.
We'll go and reclaim all of Shanazar. No. Well, I guess Shanazar will be fused with Mobius. That hasn't happened yet, but anyway.
That doesn't quite work, yeah.
But they head for the secret island fortress, Tails and Charmy, of all people. Also, Charmy helping Tails fly.
I mean, I get the logic.
Yeah.
It's just so weird to have Charmy do this. Like,
oh, well, Charmy is just kind of out of the blue.
Yeah, we really haven't developed the whole doors to the special zone back and forth thing, and both times we have, it's been Charmy.
Yeah.
They're doing all this, by the way, because it has a force field that makes it so the plane can't fly there.
Right, yeah.
But yes, Tails and Charmy are taking turns holding each other while the other does the flying, which I think is actually kind of cute.
Yeah.
It is.
But don't worry, we make sure to hear from Tails that even he, the proto-Charmy, finds Charmy's manner of speaking annoying. But yes, the security system of the island attacks and sends them crashing into the forest. Oh no.
Damn.
And is it Whip? Is that this guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it? Okay, I don't know.
He sees them.
Yeah, that's his name.
Heads toward them with this tiger guy. They're wearing more fucking Space Marine armor.
More 40k off Space Marine armor, yeah.
Yeah, but on the chest you've got the Robotnik nose and mustache, which
instead of like
amazing.
an eagle. I like that. It kind of makes me want to make some custom Space Marines.
It's pretty good. So they hear them crash, and so they run over and attack. Tails, though, flies off, leaving Charmy to get shot.
Damn.
And then he's immediately caught anyway. Except not really. It's really weird, because you see Tails get grabbed, and then the very next panel he's just standing without people grabbing him.
I guess they just decided to shoot them.
So they grabbed him and then put him down and then pointed the gun at him, I guess?
Yeah, put him up against the wall,
The timing is weird here because
it is
that, and then immediately afterwards, everyone's stuff starts malfunctioning, so apparently Tails had time to do some sabotage
at some point.
Those other panels.
I guess it's when he flies away right before Charmy gets shot. There's just an unseen time skip of like 5
I'm
minutes.
just saying there's a lot of that. They like ran out of space in these last pages.
Apparently. I mean, yeah. But it's okay, because he did a Doctor Who reference, so now their weapons don't work.
Reverse the polarity of the neutron flow. Yes, good job.
Yeah. So they win.
Yeah, I guess this is like the final defeat of the Cult of Robotnik.
I mean, they're captured.
Seems like it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I just assume at the point we're at, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but it kind of seems like they're just putting a bow on this plot point.
It's possible. I don't remember if we see them again.
It does feel like that's what's happening. So,
well, I want to say let's hope so, because they've really just not been as interesting as they should be, and I don't.
Yeah, at this point, I don't. If they keep coming back, I don't expect them to be I don't know. I don't expect them to be anything more interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's push forward to going underground, Stringer and Corona. Tails goes to the worm place. He's with the worms now.
Yep.
That's my description. I don't care if you don't like it.
Good job.
I mean, that might as well be it.
What do you want me to say about this? Sonic and Tails are out, whatever, and they see this worm dude getting bullied.
I thought it was Patrick Star at first.
Yeah. So they stop the bullies by smacking them, but the worm dude runs off, and well, I feel like you could just let him go, but
No, but Tails follows him for some reason.
yes, he follows him underground to the cave of the worm people.
We get the first Pixel Brain from Sonic. It's just like, where is he? That Pixel Brain in a long time.
Also,
Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoy seeing Sonic.
True.
Frankly, he's justified here because why is Tails chasing him? Who cares?
Oh yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
guess.
No, there's like there's no reason.
The Worm Queen we meet here, the Worm Queen. She's very isolationist and doesn't like outsiders. I kind of don't blame her, given how one of her dudes was being treated above ground, and now has also
fair.
they've just had this guy invite himself in, which they didn't ask for.
Well, so I actually was kind of suspicious of this because they never give any reason why they have to live in this secluded society. You're like, okay, well, yeah, they met a few bullies. That can happen sometimes. I mean, the people of Mobius are all over the place. Maybe that's
True.
supposed to be the reason, but Zeg seemed to, that one worm guy that Tails met, seems to want to go to the service and not being allowed to. So it really seems like it's the Queen forcing everyone.
It's possible. And I
Yeah.
I don't blame her. I do blame her for saying Tails is never allowed to leave because he's been here now. That's stupid.
Yeah,
That was the real thing that made me think, I don't know, this arrangement is really so great.
What's hilarious is that Tails is like, well, I guess this is just my life now. That kind of sucks.
and he's like, oh damn, all right.
That's a pushover sometimes, Tails.
Complete wet blanket.
Mm-hmm.
So he can't eat their food because it's made out of mold, but
Damn.
he can save their miners from death by poison gas.
Yeah, he's got a spinny butt, so he can use that.
Helicopter ass to the rescue, yeah.
Yep.
And the queen is like, oh, thank you for helping us. And Tails is like, yeah, you're welcome. Can I go home, please? And then she's like, okay.
Sure. Yeah. Like, okay. What
And,
was the purpose of this?
I don't know. Sonic asks where Tails was, and Tails gives him a deliberate non-answer. And, like,
Yeah,
who cares?
I think this story is supposed to showcase just that Tails has a good heart. He may be a pushover. He may be like, well, I guess I lived out here now. But, like, he'll still help them and don't tell anyone. He'll, like, not tell Sonic and look like an idiot to Sonic.
Oh, you know
because
what? This
he's just a
also
nice
shows
guy.
the change, because in any other comic, Tails would try to say what happened and Sonic wouldn't believe him.
That's true.
All
that
right,
is definitely
well,
true.
let's lay this shit to rest. This is our final Tails story. It is called Northern Frights, Stringer and Corona. Tails chases Claws, a bank robber, to the Polar Zone, 3 out of 10, in hopes of recovering the stolen cash. Final
So
Tails
Tails
story.
just chases escaped criminals now.
Apparently. One last hurrah for complete fucking filler.
Hmm.
So yes, we're at the North Pole. Tails is trying to find this guy in his plane for all of 2 seconds, because the number one thing the tornado does in this series is crash.
I'm glad that's consistent across all media.
Yes, because that's also true in the games, and a lesser extent in Sonic X, but only because they use the X tornado for fucking everything in that show. But yes, Tails gets shot down by this polar bear, and he jumps out of it just before it crashes into a mountain. And in fact, he keeps shooting at Tails until an avalanche falls on him.
Yeah. That's
Which you'd think would be like, oh, that's a major threat. But it's no problem, because polar bear guy just jumps out of the snow. I guess he's just strong.
He is a polar bear.
he is a polar bear.
I feel like polar bears can still die in an avalanche.
He's a magic
Depends
polar
how big
bear.
of an avalanche it was.
Maybe. But he knocks Tails unconscious. And when Tails wakes up, he's tied to an iceberg being pushed out to sea.
And then typical insane villain that they are, they're like, well, you're going to die anyway. So I think I'll tell you where I hid all the money.
And let me explain everything.
Yes. But don't worry. Just because we have a stupid explanation to the money doesn't mean we can't also get a stupid solution to this problem.
The man who I never would have expected to show up showed up.
Willie Waddle, the
Holy
comedian
wow.
penguin from last week.
Holy crap.
Crazy.
It's like, on the one hand, it's a place where a penguin could be, fair enough. On the other hand, they have to go out of their
It's
way to
Willie
say that it's not
fucking
just him,
Waddle.
like, randomly being here. Tails specifically says, I asked for his help before all this.
Why?
Because he helped Willie at one point, and he knew
So
that he
Willie owes
would be in
him.
trouble, so he brought some backup.
I was
the
sure
worst
that I was going to be
backup
tied to an
ever.
iceberg.
Some of the weirdest choice for backup.
What does Willie have like a waterproof suit too? Because like I don't think that would be a good dress if you were going to like chase a criminal
That's
in
a
the
good
Arctic.
point.
Especially saltwater, yeah.
I would have. You know what? Maybe it's made from penguin down.
Anywho, I want to say that Tails beats up Claws here, but it doesn't look like that. It really looks like he just runs through him and then he's beaten.
Yeah, it runs like in between his legs and he like falls over.
Maybe since his one arm is forward, that is a punch, but it doesn't look like it.
He punched him right in the nads.
That would beat me.
Yeah, that's
But yeah. So good job. Anyway, here's a police helicopter. Were they just behind you the whole time?
I'd assume so.
I once again ask, why was it Tails' responsibility to catch this criminal?
Good question.
They got to have him do something, and the Tails
For his
comics
final story.
are very uncreative.
Yeah, they weren't very good.
They're
No,
bad. I
not
would say they are
really.
the worst part of Sonic comic. In fact,
Yeah.
I must admit though, I do prefer this filler to the original Tails stuff, where he was
Fair.
just ultra
The name was-
pushover.
Oh yeah, his pushover shit in the Nameless Zone was just annoying. This is just
Yeah,
boring.
with the Zone Runners.
Yeah, and Zone Runners also. This is just boring.
which is a shame because original settings with serialized stories should be more interesting, but because Tails himself sucked at the time, we couldn't take advantage of that. So now we move to repetitive settings in the stories with a competent Tails.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just strange because like Sonic stories, have a mix of plot progression and filler, but when that's balanced, it's okay. And like all of Knuckles' stories have been at least decent. Almost always, if you see Knuckles as the story's going to be okay.
Yeah.
For the most part, yeah.
And Amy and Techno, they're right on the borderline, I would say. They at least have the novelty of the duo and have some thread connecting them. But
Yeah.
we traded one problem with Tails for another. And I'm thinking
Basically.
like, what were the best parts of the Tails comics? I guess
They
Tails-
ended.
Tails as the protector of Casino Night, I suppose, and then like
Yeah.
I guess the fucking Tantrum Mouse story.
Oh god.
I don't know. That does make me think of Fleabite, who was kind of a funny character, actually.
Yeah. I guess the big one would be he was the one to finally finish Metamorphia's incredibly abandoned character arc.
Oh yeah, that's true.
True.
So farewell, Tails. May you be regulated to being a
Something.
supporting character in Sonic's material.
Yeah.
Let's move along here to a comic that is not ending this week, but will end next week. The Amy and Techno stories. We're starting off here with continuity problems. This is Out of Time, Stringer and Corona. Amy and Techno arrive in the Old West, but are confronted by a human neither old nor from the West. Kind of.
This is a time travel story, so the continuity is fine. What are you talking about?
Yeah, if you say that they inspired this after having experienced it themselves, I don't think there's technically a contradiction.
Yeah.
That's some Sonic 06 before Sonic Rush ass storytelling, but
Oh god.
we're touching base down in the Old West, and hey, we're on Earth. Yeah, they stop a highwayman from robbing this caravan.
Yeah, like we've had some wacky destinations from the Ring of Eternity, but I did not expect this at all.
Yeah.
This is certainly an interesting one.
Get in here, Billy the Kid, Doc Holliday, some other famous ones that I don't know. Anyway, yeah, they stop the robber and they introduce themselves to the worthless sheriff. What were you doing this whole time, man?
Having a gun pointed at him.
Yeah, I guess so. He's surprisingly unshaken by two alien furry women showing up.
I mean, he kind of explains why.
Yes, indeed, because he's unshaken because we've been seeing weird stuff, such as robots roaming around here. Uh-oh.
Huh.
Uh-oh.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Techno decides, that's weird, I'll take a look up from the sky, and then immediately get shot down.
Yep.
Please let Amy be her romantic knight in shining armor. Need it.
Well,
exactly.
I mean, that is what happens.
That
She
is
does
what
show up to
happened.
save her on a horse. So
On a horse, yeah. And the sheriff just, for some reason, deputized Amy.
because he's worthless, he just gets flat on his ass.
I guess so.
He'll have his time. So, yeah, they wreck the robots and they look at them and they're like, it's interesting. Yeah, these are pretty basic designs, but they're not from this time period. And so I'm like, okay, well, I mean, they could be from like aliens. No. I did not expect at all where these robots were coming from.
Yes, indeed.
I don't think anyone fucking could have.
A bunch of humans materialize, and it's Colonel Percy Granite.
Holy crap.
Does this guy just show up every time Earth shows up?
I guess so.
It sure seems like it.
Humans have time travel.
Apparently.
Yeah, so he says he's been siphoning military funding into his own time travel projects.
Okay, so like the dimensional transporter, I assume they just stole like the ideas and like got it running again from that one scientist dude.
Sure.
But no, they just did time travel just, with no possible explanation. They just did it.
I guess if you dump enough money into something, anything's possible.
Well, and let's also note his plan is not just that, I'm gonna get those furries. No, he's not even thinking about Mobius yet. He wants to use time travel to reconquer America for the British Empire.
Holy crap. We'll invade America, then he does also say they'll sweep across Victorian England.
Right, okay.
And then says Britain after that, which doesn't make sense. Whatever. Europe and then the Far East.
Yeah, that's right. He'll use America to build an army.
Yeah, he's gonna use America as his jumping off point, basically.
Yeah.
Still wild.
Yeah, I really thought that this character was just like extreme xenophobe, but no, he's just crazy general, and his army apparently just goes with this. There's no explanation.
He must have his own
soldiers obey him.
His own men, his own men must like obey him without a thought.
Listen, man, he offers really good benefits.
Well, see, the other time it's like, oh, okay, I'm going to sell land and make a ton of money for all of us. But like conquering the world, that's not as obvious a money-making scheme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, complete megalomaniac. So Amy and Techno pledge they're gonna stop him. But there's not much they can do with all these guns pointed at them until that useless sheriff shows up and disproves my hypothesis that he is completely useless.
Well, Joey has time.
His bullet appears to like bounce off of a guy's gun.
He shoots the gun out of his hand.
Oh, it's still the bullet appears to just bounce.
Yeah, I mean that should probably break the gun.
Punch a hole through the stock, or like destroy the stock, or if it hit his hand, well, I don't think we can show
Explode
that.
the hand. Yeah. Anyway, Amy and Techno are they seize on that opportunity to push the army men back through the portal to their home timeline. I guess there really are only 3 of them here, so that works.
Yeah, fair enough, I guess.
Granite then demonstrates their insanity once again as they're like, you know what? Conquering the world? Meh. Now that these people interfered, let's conquer Mobius, actually.
Let's conquer a completely different world, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, put the coordinates from Mobius in the system. Oh no, and of course this is what I was talking about like 2 weeks ago, that this story is obviously meant to foreshadow the one we already read, but I do like that because it's time travel and because Amy and Techno weren't in the other story, you could conceivably say that it's set after that because they didn't go through that.
Yeah,
Especially considering Techno does indeed put the coordinates in the system, but then sets it to self-destruct.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, if this is supposed to be the motivation, I find it odd that Granite didn't proudly proclaim that they were going to have like vengeance or something. It just doesn't follow. So yeah, they might as well just be in whatever order.
Yeah.
So she and Amy dive back through portal just as it explodes, leaving the humans with no way to follow them. Maybe she should have deleted those coordinates before she set it to destruct, because they did indeed get there. But
I mean, they were kind of in the middle of an enemy base. They didn't really have much time.
Yeah, I can't really blame them.
I'm still glad that we ended up doing this story now instead of before.
Yeah.
Because
no, it's fine, because it does make... Well, I guess their appearance here would have been surprising either way, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that the retroactive aspect also makes it more interesting, even though it's wrong.
True.
Anywho, let's close off for tonight with Day 1, Stringer and Corona. Amy and Techno return to Mobius, but it's not the planet it was when they left. So the Ring of Eternity spits them back out on Mobius. Or at least this is supposed to be Mobius.
Yeah, they say it's Mobius.
They came through the ring, but none of their friends are here.
Damn.
Instead,
they're
we just
all
have
dead.
Dinosaurs in spacesuits.
And Amy and Techno have Granite's really rubbed off on them, because instantly they see these aliens like, oh, they must be up to no good. Let's attack.
Immediately, let's go to violence.
Dude, you see guys like that on the street in your hometown. Like, maybe they don't see dinosaurs specifically, but lizards.
No, but that is a good point.
And they're just standing around arguing about something they're gonna do that they don't even know what it is.
Yeah, it's just weird that they immediately attack them.
Yeah.
Yep. The Dino Men are very surprised to see life forms on this planet at all, though. And that leads Techno to immediately assume, oh, these bastards, they destroyed it. They killed all life on Mobius.
What is this writing? Why are they being written as complete idiots?
Because you need to not have them know exactly what is going on so that the twist comes in.
Right, because they could, if they use their brains, they could figure it out pretty quickly.
Yeah, but the dinosaurs, they put up shields so that Amy can't shoot them to death. And they do that because they're not trying to attack. They're not actually bad people. These guys are the ones who built the Ring of Eternity.
What? I thought it was supposed to, like, originate from Mobius.
Yeah, good point.
Well, we are on Mobius, but it doesn't come from the life force of the planet. It comes from these guys who specifically built it and who are specifically seeding life on planets across the galaxy.
Yeah, we got... That's an interesting plot thing.
So, I guess we know how all life developed on Mobius, which is that these dudes put a thing in a puddle and zapped it.
Right.
Yep. And then the Ring of Eternity is like, oh yeah, I wanted to show you this as a reward for all your good work. But, I wasn't going to, like, tell you that this is what I was going to do.
You almost killed these guys and ensured that you would never exist. That's your reward.
Crazy.
And yeah, that's still weird, though, because, like, I'm trying to square the way with, maybe it's just Angel Island, but we already had dinosaurs in these comics, and they weren't like these guys.
Oh, yeah.
Well, so I assume that, like, going off of tropes, these dinosaur creatures would probably make life in their image. So it probably started like dinosaurs on Mobius, and then they just evolved to be different.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Anywho, there's no conflict here, so we're just going to the next thing, I guess.
Yeah, the only thing we're left with is Amy being like, huh, wow, I can't believe that we were just created by these people. But wait, then who created them?
Yeah, it's very funny. Amy says, I always thought there was another creator of life. And then Dinosaur Man's like, well, I never said who we worked for, did I? God confirmed real?
Oh, God.
Well, I mean, that's what they're referencing here.
That is definitely what they're referencing.
I would love to see if like Sonic the Comic Online picked that up and went like a completely different direction. And it turns out they were created by some kind of colossal cosmic horror space squid or something. But there is no way for us to know that right now. Instead, that's where we finish off for tonight. Rip Bozo. See ya, Tails.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I could care less that the Tale stories are over.
I do not just not care that they're over. I'm happy that they are over because that will allow us to focus on Amy and Techno next week, which is so-so, but on Sonic for the rest of next week and the final 2 episodes of Sonic the Comic. So we are
Thank
really
God the hog.
moving toward Endgame here, and I do not have a problem with that.
Thank God the hog.
Yep.
But we are going to see what all of that entails starting next time. For right now, that is where we are done for tonight. Thank you so much to my co-host for being here. Thank you to all of our viewers for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, please feel free to share, like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any questions, comments, criticisms, suggestions, or feedback, you can reach us at any of the links in the link tree in the description. I hope you have a great rest of your week. We'll see you next week for another exciting episode. I hope you have a great rest of your night, and take care.